Hi friends, I'm Carol Keller, an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Illinois, and I have today some paper pumpkin alternatives to this month's kit. I have set a record, I guess, with how quickly I finished this kit, and for the first time I actually did the cards as they come in the kit first, and I did that because I wanted to see what extras there were so that I could use them in the cards that I designed, and I did do that. As usual, I cut all the card bases apart because I think it's terrible to waste a beautiful backside of a card that no one's going to see, and instead I make it a card front. So, having done that, I created 17 cards, and you're thinking, okay, but there are 8 card bases. That means 16 cards. That's true. I created an extra one too. I used some of the companion dies that coordinate with this kit and the ones for August and September. So you'll see that too. I used more than just the ones that are meant to coordinate with this month's kit, which I really like to do. Got to use those dies, got to get our money's worth, and I think I did that in this case this month. And like I said, you know, it was a record for me. I spent quite a bit of time making my alternatives, and most of them are simple. My plan was to use everything up and create some cute cards, and I hope you like them. All right, let's get started. Here is this month's kit, and I'm going to show you, like I said, I actually have made the cards as they come in the kit, and I did that first. So I'll show those to you in a sec. Comes with a garden green Stampin' spot, and of course, as always, whoops, I love this to keep track. For me, I keep track of which stamps I have by using this as a reference. Remember to double check that you have everything in the kit, and make sure, if you don't, to contact Stampin' Up! So they can send you what you need. These are the companion dies called the Circle of Season dies. Circle of Season, yes. And so these are the ones meant to coordinate with the kit, that little flower and the strawberry top. We're also going to use that beautiful circle and the hello. So you'll see that too. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to quickly show you the cards that come in the kit. There are 8 of them, so 4 different designs, 2 of each. And I did modify them just a tiny bit. This one had 5 flowers, and I felt like they were sort of floating in the air, and then some only had 2, and I really like 3. So I used 3 of the flowers on each one, which uses all of them up. There are 24 that come with the kit. I used all of them. And I moved the hello friend down. They had it up here a little bit. I moved it down toward the bottom. I think pretty much everything else is the same as the directions tell you. But just so you know that, so if they look slightly different, that is why. Adorable though. And as you know, if you've watched my videos, you know that I like to use extra things, the extras that come with the kit that don't get used on the cards. There are usually some extras. Sometimes I'll even use the envelope, although in this case, just the flap was decorated. Let me show you that too. So I didn't want to use the flap. I just added, I always add stamping to the envelope, just like I did the insides of these. But usually if it's decorated inside, I'll break it apart and use that. But that hasn't been the case for a little while, so I haven't been doing that. So let me show you. I used Life is Sweeter with You, and so then this again coordinates with what is on the front of the envelope. So if you don't know what to put on the inside, I did Life is Sweeter with You again. I thought that went nicely with the thank you. And so I probably did it here. I did. The one that says Life is Sweeter with You, I put thank you on the inside. So those are the cards that come in the kit. And at the end, I will show you all of the cards that I made. But let's get rolling with the 2 cards that I'm going to make for you on camera today. So this is the first one. And you're going to see that I used a little scrap of the vellum. So this is what it looks like. So it comes like this, and you punch out, obviously, the vellum to use on 2 of the cards that you just saw. But I loved the scalloped edge, and I wanted to use it with another card. So this is the one that I designed. It uses one of the card bases, half of the card base that's mounted on a basic white card base. So let me move that aside and I'll show you how I did it. So again, started with a basic white card base. I just feel like that makes the most, make sure this is even, makes the most of the supplies, because like I said in my intro, I really hate to waste the back of a card that's so pretty that nobody sees. So I always cut them apart. That's usually the first thing that I do. We're going to do it this way. So here is the card base. Half of the card base, like I said, already cut. It's got a little ding, but I don't think that's going to matter. We are going to take some multi-purpose liquid glue and put it right on there so that we can mount it to the card front. So for me, a lot of times that's what I'll do right away. That's what I did when I was working on these. And like I said, it really was a record getting them put together, but I'm not going to say how quick it was because I have a little contest going on my Facebook page and my Instagram asking people how long they thought it took me and how many cards there were. So don't tell them because like I said in my intro, I said how many cards there were, which includes this one. But like I said, I have that contest going, so hopefully somebody guesses right before I post this because I don't want to give it away. All right, so we've got that. And now for this, the first time for this card, I cut it with my trimmer, but I didn't get close enough. And then I had to use my snips, so I'm just going to use my snips. So I'm running it so that snips lay right along that line, so that will make it straight, right along the line of the vellum. And this actually does get thrown out. I really, you know, it's funny to use this, but I really was looking even at this scrap, which actually part of it we're going to use on another card, on the other card. But I was actually looking at this and this to see if I wanted to use them, but I just ended up going with the vellum. But I don't know, it just sparked a lot of ideas. So if you wanted to, you could use those. This one, I was going to say you could use this one, but it is narrower. And I think it would be hard to cut this out, as I would have to find exactly the right size circle, which is possible, but I didn't want to go to all that trouble. I wanted it to be easy. So anyway, I used the vellum. First thing we're going to do is put glue dots on the back. And for the first time, I think ever, I used all of the glue dots that come with the kit. So I'm using them off the roll. I even used some extras that I had from a different kit, trying to kind of use them up, because if you know, if you're a subscriber every month, there are a lot of extras that you get even with glue and the tear and tape. I used a lot of that too because I had so much extra. So I used a lot of it. All right, we're just going to center this right on the front of the card. Whoops, don't do that. Glue dots, I really want to adhere, but I want this centered. Darn it. Come on. That is better, I think. And so once I put one down, kind of moving my hand along the vellum, and I'm doing that because I want to make sure that there are no sides that come up. I want it to really lie flat, so that's why I did that. And you can see the glue dots, which is why we're going to put flowers in the corner. These come from the dies, so I've already pre-cut them, and the word hello. So again, we're using the hello that comes with the die set. That's not necessarily meant to coordinate with this month's kit, but that's why I love it, because you can use all of them. You really, you know, I really try to get my money's worth with the dies. Okay, so this one's easy to put together. I'm going to take my glue dots again, and I did try to avoid the center where that little hole is cut out. So I put glue dots on the petals, 2 of the petals. And again, if it's showing like this one is, because it's a little off center, you can just sort of tuck it in with your finger to get it hidden. because, you know, doing this on camera is a little more stressful. And we're just going to pop one in each corner. And I did sort of change the orientation to make sure that the flowers were kind of all going in a different way so that it doesn't, just to, you know, add a little more interest, I guess. I did not feel like I needed them all to be going the same way. All right, and it looks like I'm missing one. Let me make sure it's not hiding. It's hiding in the envelope. There it is. Do you do that? I keep all of my supplies in an envelope so that I can just pull them out and have them ready instead of having to scramble and look. All right, so now the hello is going to go here, and these are going to go underneath. So I'm just going to kind of see that it's centered left to right and top to bottom, probably about like that. So that's what I did. I wanted the flowers a little closer together even than this is, so we're going to do it this way this time, and again hopefully centered. So we're going to take that hello. I did put an adhesive sheet on the back of this before I ran it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I've been using the mini lately, which I'm loving because so far every die that I've used has fit into it, so I love that. So I'm just peeling the paper off the back and laying it out. I think that looks pretty good, straight and centered. And now the same thing for the flowers that I did with the other ones. I'm just putting some glue dots on the back. And I'm just gonna kind of place them in case I need to move them around. And I can see that that middle glue dot, or middle flower has glue showing on the back. I'm gonna fix that right away. Or showing on the front, I should say. Let's get that out of the way. All right. So that is it for the front. And then we're just going to do a little bit of stamping. So I used, for this one I used In Case You Need Me, I'm Here, which actually doesn't come from the kit. It comes from the Beautiful Butterflies stamp set because I felt like, you know, I wanted to do a Thinking of You card because of the fact that it just says hello. And so I ended up using that sentiment instead. So I am using Garden Green for that sentiment. I don't know if you've seen my other videos, but I finally got smart and put my silicone pad next to my glass mat to sit my ink pads in so that they don't make so much noise. Oh my goodness, stamping was so noisy before, and now it's nice and quiet. I love it. So that's it for the Garden Green. And now I'm bringing in Pretty in Pink because I did forget to say that's what color these are, because I felt like the pink and green was a good combination. And there are two different flower stamps that come with the kit, a slightly larger one and a slightly smaller one. So I'm going to take the larger one and stamp it in the corner. I'm going to bring in my envelope because if you saw my other one, I'm going to do the same thing. Right in the corner. Then I'm going to take the smaller one. I'll do the envelope first since it's here, but I just inked it twice and made a little grouping. So that's our envelope that coordinates. I love coordinating envelopes. I never have a naked one. And then on the inside, and that is it. Card number 1 is complete. And so simple. And what do you think? I really like the idea of using that vellum like that, even though it's really a scrap. So let me know in the comments what you think. But that is card number 1. All right, now I think I'm going to show you the cards that I made before I show you the next one that we're going to do today. So again, I'm using scraps from the kit. So there were some strawberries left. There was one large one. This obviously is one of the card bases, or half of it. There were two of these labels left, one in this color and one in Pool Party. And then I used the die. So really simple, using the stamps from the kit. And on the inside, Life is Sweeter with You. I did use that a lot. I liked it. And the strawberry too, to coordinate. And again with the envelope, because like I said, I don't like naked ones. The other card base was similar, but there were 3 strawberries. I bumped this one up with dimensionals and did the same thing, Life is Sweeter with You on the inside, and then the strawberry and everything on the envelope. For this card base, there was one of these left, and I'm going to show you. I was actually going to use it on a different card. At first, I was going to use it on this one in the corner and do the Hello Friend. And once I used, this is that die that comes with the companion die set. Once I used it, you couldn't even really see it. The focus, because it's red, took your eye right to the sentiment, and you couldn't even really tell almost that the strawberry was there. So I ended up using it on another card. But same thing, this is the die and then the flower die that comes with that companion die set as well. This was the other little label that was left. There was one of these extra. And I like that there are extras so that if you do goof up a card, then you still have one that you can use. That was also part of the reason that I made the cards as they come in the kit first, because in case I goofed it up, I wasn't going to have an extra label. So keep that in mind, but I will show you what you can do even if you don't have a label, because we're going to do that on the other card. And then same thing, Life is Sweeter with You and the envelope. And for this one, same thing. There was an extra one of these labels. So again, I love it that they have basically extras of everything you need to stamp on. There's one extra so that if you goof it up, you have options. But if you don't, then you could use it on another card. And here I used a little different color palette. This is Timid Tiger. And then I used, I believe, Bubble Bath and the Garden Green, because it mimicked this, I thought. And then same thing on the envelope. There was yet another label. And for this, I colored the flowers, which we're actually going to do today. This is in Daffodil Delight because that's the color that's in here. And so again, using up another strawberry from the kit, I made a thank you card. And for the last one, my last alternative was this one. And I loved the basket that was in the kit. And I thought, I have to figure out how to recreate that. So that's what we're going to do today. I'll move the envelope aside because we don't need that. And we are going to do, because this was my last card front, this is card number 8 of the alternatives that I did because it's the last card base. So I am changing up the color palette so that I can show you how to make this as many as you want or in any color that you would like. So, and I'm doing it on camera, so I may end up not being happy with it, but we'll see. I am starting with a basic white card base, and I pulled out some DSP. I had some real difficulty kind of deciding what I wanted to use, what coordinated with which DSP I wanted to use, and what coordinated with the card that we're going to do, because I will tell you what I started off with. And it was this, okay? And there are extra flowers because in the beginning I was experimenting with what does it look like when you cut out using the die, the strawberry, and it's this. And then let me show you the dies one more time, because there's an outer one that cuts out the strawberry, and then this gives it the detail, the holes, and then the same thing, cut out the tops, and then there's another detail die, because it's hard to see. I stamped it, so it's hard to see, but yeah, I stamped it. And I used a different color palette. This is Granny Apple Green, and I stamped in Granny Apple Green, and then I ran it through my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, well, my mini, And I used both of these dies and then both of these for the strawberry. So it's just a matter of kind of lining them up. And I made 3 of them. So I definitely wanted to use them up on this card. And I had some yellow flowers. I was experimenting on another card and then felt like, I don't know if I like that. So we're going to try it today. If I don't like the yellow, I'll cut some more in white, but hopefully the yellow will work. So again, I was really torn and trying to find a background and not sure what would work, and I pulled out my in color DSP. I will show you, I'm still sort of debating what to use, but this was my original thought to go with the color here, but then I didn't think I was gonna like it. I think we will know more once we finish that basket. So I'm gonna move that aside because I have another neutral one that I got from the Woods DSP, and I was thinking this is the one we would use today. So we probably will, but I'm still gonna put it aside because the first thing we're gonna do is make that basket. So I've got a scrap of Granny Apple Green, and don't throw anything away, right? So that there were 2 baskets that came for the other cards, and I saw, let me pull it in again, that there was just a little bit of detail on the basket, and I didn't even notice till now. There's some on the side, which I didn't do, but maybe we'll try that today. So I just added color here and down at the bottom with my blend, my Granny Apple Green, light Granny Apple Green blend. So that's what we're going to do today. This, I believe, is Pool Party. Granny Apple Green today. This one is Summer Splash. So that's what I use, my light Summer Splash blend, to just add a little bit of detail to make it similar. And you know, it's not exact, but I was really happy with the result, honestly. So what we're going to do is take a pencil, and I'm going to turn this over to the back side and put it to the edge so that this edge lines right up with the edge here. So the cardstock's right on the edge. So that's one less cut we have to make, and I know it's straight. And hopefully I can do this on camera, just tracing around. All right, and I am gonna keep this if I wanna make more baskets, which I do. Now I'm gonna just take my snips and cut around. And I don't have to worry about whether the pencil marks are gonna show or not because this is the back side. And there we have our basket. Okay, so you know, you can see a little bit of pencil on the other side. Doesn't matter because we're going to flip it over this way. I'm going to bring in a scrap just so that I can use my blend then, like I said, the brush end of my light Granny Apple Green. And I'm just going to make a line like this. And then a little bit down at the bottom. Just like this. And we'll do, just like that other basket, we'll do a little bit of highlighting on this edge. And that's it. All right, so now that I've got my basket, I want to see what it looks like. I think we'll do this if I put it here. Because again, I really wanted something sort of neutral. I don't know if I love it. I'm going to grab another one, another option from that Woods DSP pack, and I'll be right back. All right, I'm back and I cut a different one. I really wanted something neutral, and honestly, if I had the Brights DSP, I probably would pick one of those, but I don't have it, so oh well, what are you gonna do? So we're gonna put this on and hope it works. We're gonna put it on with some multi-purpose liquid glue. And if you come up with a different one, different color palette even, and use different DSP, please post a picture in the comments because I would love to see it. Okay, so now we've got our card base. We're going to just assemble the basket. And I loved that they used a whole strawberry. That's right, they used a whole strawberry on the bottom of each basket. I took one and cut it in half to use on the 2 cards. So that gave me 1 extra strawberry. So keep that in mind as well if you want to do the same thing. So what I'm going to do first is put some glue dots on the bottom of these 2 and then across the top here to hold in all those strawberries. At first, I put them all the way across the bottom of the basket, but I ended up not needing the 2 on the ends. But these we will need because we want those strawberries to stay put. So I'm going to put a bunch. I think about 5. I think I did 6 on the first one. We'll do 5 on this one. And we can always add more, of course, if we need it. Let's try that again. Too close together. Need them on this side. All right, so we've got now a bunch on the back. Maybe one more. And the reason that we're doing that is we want the strawberries to sit inside the basket. So I'm going to cut off the bottom of the 2 of the strawberries so that we can use them on the bottom of the basket. So I'm just cutting off a section, maybe about 2/3 of the way down. And you could cut another strawberry if you wanted to. That would work too. But those little holes all come out. It's quite a process to die cut them. So I'm going to put these on the bottom, and I turned it this way so that I would kind of get more surface area underneath the basket. We're going to put it like this across one of the holes and then toward the middle, and then the same thing with the other one. Just like this. Whoops. Might need that glue dot. Oh no, here we go. Yeah. So I am placing it over like the outer, let's try that again, over the outer loop here. But also, again, having it overlap the center so that when you turn it this way, gotta fix this one, it's down too low. It looks like the strawberries are peeking out of every one. Let's fix this one as well. All right, so there we go. That's the bottom. It's not as, it wasn't as complicated when I did it the first time to get it where I wanted, but I think it's okay. And then, it's still not here. Let's move this one. All right, I think that's better. We're gonna live with that because no one's really gonna be examining it. So now we have the side strawberries. And you can see I'm just putting them, adhering them to the glue dots that are on the back. Just like that. And then for the larger one, I tucked it in front of the other 2 a little bit and made it a little higher, just like that. And so the glue dots hold everything in place, which is really nice. Then I am going to put just a little bit of multi-purpose liquid glue on the back of each of these. And actually I did that first, so hopefully this will work. When I did my first ones, oh, there it goes. When I did my first ones, I did this, I put the tops on the strawberries first before I put them in the basket. Hopefully this will work, but just seating it behind them just a little bit, just for that glue to grab. Just like this. Let's do it this way. Whoops, not like that. And then this one. Yeah, that's good. And then we're going to tuck this in front. And so that's it. That's our basket. Wasn't that, I mean, except for setting this up at the bottom, which is still not, I'm still not super happy with where those pieces landed, but it is pretty easy, honestly. And especially recreating the basket was easy, and that's what I like. And so this is going to go here. We won't adhere it quite yet, I do have also a scrap of basic white. And we're going to use that to stamp the Hello Friend. So I've got my Hello Friend, and we're going to stamp it in Poppy Parade this time because that's the color that I used for the strawberries. So just Granny Apple Green for both of these, and then Poppy Parade. We'll ink that up and stamp it. And then for the inside, well, we have the ink. Again, I did Life is Sweeter with You. And I probably should have stamped it in this case, in the Summer Splash. And because I didn't, and there was a lot of red, I added the flowers. But I think I'm going to do that again. I thought it turned out nicely. So we'll move this out of the way for now. We're going to get Life is Sweeter with You. So we will stamp that again in the Poppy Parade up at the top. And while we have the Poppy Parade, I'm going to do a strawberry. And this time I did it on the left. I do like to change it up a little bit. And the same thing on the envelope. So we're done with the Poppy Parade. I'm going to bring in Granny Apple Green. And we'll do the top on the strawberry. Whoops. There we go. So the envelope is done. We'll do the same thing on the inside. And it is good to do the Poppy Parade first because it takes a while for that strawberry to dry because it's so ink heavy. And then all we have to do is add some flowers. So I added a big flower on one side and two of the smaller flowers on the other side. Again, twisting, adding some interest. And our stamping is done, but actually we're going to leave that Granny Apple Green because we will need it a little bit. Well, we'll see, maybe not. See if I'm going to do the same thing as on the first card or not. Sorry, just thinking out loud. All right, so now I'm just fussy cutting the Hello Friend, just like they did with the one that came in the kit. And so you don't have to. If you wanted to, you could just cut it, stamp it in a rectangle, and then cut it, you know, as a rectangle and not fussy cut it. That would work. But I am gonna try and mimic what came in the kit a little bit. All right, so now we just need to finish, assembly. So we're gonna put the Hello Friend up here and the basket here. So for this, I just used my seal. You could use glue dots too. And maybe that is what I did. I think I did use glue dots actually with the first one, and I put it on everything that was kind of bumped up. So I didn't put any here, but I put it here. I put glue dots here and here, and then on all of these surfaces. I'm going to put a little bit more seal. Make sure I've got good coverage, that everything's going to stay in place. Yeah, that's better. We'll put that right about here. Hello Friend, I did use my seal. Just ran a line across, and that goes up here. And we're going to try the yellow flowers. I think I am going to use them. And actually for these, you know, again, I used a Q-tip, and what I did, I think I'm not going to do it this time. I think I'm going to, well, maybe I will. I'll show you the technique. So I'm dipping my Q-tip in the Granny Apple Green, and then I'm going to kind of stamp off or whatever on a little piece of paper, get rid of some of the ink because I don't want it too dark. And we only need 3 of these. I know I have extra ones, and that's okay. And I think we'll do 1, and then we'll do the other 2 with the Poppy Parade. So I'm going to bring that back in just because I wanted them to coordinate with the colors in the, you know, in the rest of the card. So again, dip and then take a few dots off on a scrap And we'll see what it looks like, but I'm just putting it just lightly around the middle. I do like the color contrast. Whoops, it's sticking to me. And that's that. And then just like with the other card, I'm putting a couple of glue dots on the back where hopefully they won't be seen, and tucking them in if they will. Actually, I think I'm going to do 2 in the green because I'm going to put one up here because I think I want a little contrast. And then one here. And yeah, I think we'll do one more in the green. Designing on the fly. It's probably got still good ink on it, so yeah. Hide that glue dot a little bit. And then that is it. Got a little extras, but our card is complete. What do you think? I don't know if I'm crazy about that background, but it is neutral enough though that the basket pops, which I want. So I think it's probably okay. And even the yellow flowers I was sort of iffy on. These are Daffodil Delight, by the way. And I don't know, I think I like it. I definitely was happy with this one, and I love this color palette. This is actually Strawberry Slush and Summer Splash, because I wanted it to coordinate a little bit better with this, and I think it works really nicely. I hope you do too. So that is card number 2, at least of what I did on camera today. And here again is card number 1. Of course, I'll put out all the ones that I made, all my alternatives. So again, using up scraps, which I love to do. I don't know if they're all going to fit. They're probably not. Not too bad. So that is it. That is all of my alternatives. I hope you like them. I loved using the scraps. And again, I had one extra strawberry, which might have been this one, because I only used one. I cut one to use on both of the cards that come with the kit to make the bottom. So I am still going to work with that. It's bothering me. Maybe give it a little snip. I'm not sure. But anyway, I hope you like the cards. Let me know in the comments. And if you try your own, please post pictures. I'd love to see them. So I didn't use anything extra for the kit besides the companion dies and that beautiful butterfly stamp set that we used on the first card, that In Case You Need Me, I'm Here, which I love. So great stamp set with some good other sentiments, but that's what I used. And I think that was it, except for the dies, like I said. So, which is nice too. You know, it's nice to just kind of use what you have and not have to gather a lot of extra supplies. And so that's why I like to use what comes in the kit and work with the stamps. And in this case, the dies, to create an extra card. Well, the stamps too. All right, so thanks for joining me. Check out my other videos. I have lots of cards, scrapbook pages, home decor items, tips and techniques, beginner videos, and hopefully a lot there that you will find useful. Subscribe to my channel. Please click on the bell and you'll be notified when I post new videos, which I do at least once a week. This one I'm kind of sneaking in extra. I've been working on a series with the Extraordinary Flora bundle and washi tape, which has been so much fun. I posted my first one in the series last Tuesday, and the next one will be coming up this Tuesday, so look for that. There will be 4 or 5. There'll be 4 for sure because I finished the card designs and the videos. There may be a 5th if I can squeeze it in. Take care, and I will see you again soon. Happy stamping.